Before we start the fun of cooking, let's go over some basic kitchen vocabulary. Appliances. Refrigerator, a large appliance for keeping food cold. Oven, a large appliance for baking or roasting food. Microwave, an appliance that cooks food using microwaves. Stove, an appliance with burners for cooking food in pots and pans. Blender, an appliance used to mix puree or emulsify food. Utensils. Spatula, a flat tool used for flipping or spreading. Whisk, a tool used for beating or stirring. Ladle, a large spoon for serving soup or stew. Peeler, a tool used for removing the skin from fruits and vegetables. Grater, a tool used for shredding food into small pieces. Cookware. Pot, a deep cooking vessel used for boiling or simmering. Pan, a shallow cooking vessel used for frying or sautéing. Saucepan, a small pot with a handle used for making sauces. Baking sheet, a flat, rectangular metal pan used for baking. Casserole dish, a deep dish used for baking casseroles. Food preparation terms. Dice, to cut into very small cubes. Slice, to cut into thin pieces. Grate, to shred into small pieces. Whisk, to beat ingredients to add air. Blend, to mix until smooth. Simmer, to cook gently in liquid just below boiling. Now let's start our exciting cooking adventure. Hey Jane, you've got to see this. Everyone on Instagram is making fettuccine alfredo, and it looks absolutely divine. Just look at how creamy and cheesy it is. Peeks over. Wow, you're right. That looks like something straight out of a gourmet restaurant. I can almost taste it just by looking at the pictures. We should totally make it ourselves. How hard can it be, right? Exactly. We've got all day, and I found this step-by-step recipe that looks pretty straightforward. Let's give it a try. I'm sure we can pull it off. All right. So, what's first? Reading the recipe. It says we need unsalted butter, heavy cream, a couple of garlic cloves, freshly grated parmesan cheese, and of course, the fettuccine pasta. We've got most of that, right? Opens the fridge. Found the butter and cream. But, where's the garlic? Here it is. Holds up a bulb of garlic. Now how do we get the garlic out of this thing? I think you just peel it or smash it. Grabs a clove and awkwardly starts smashing it with a spoon. Is this how you do it? Laughing. That looks more like garlic soup. Let me try. Attempts to chop the garlic, but ends up with uneven chunks. Close enough. No one's going to know if the garlic isn't perfectly minced, right? Shrugs. Good enough for me. Garlic is garlic, after all. What's next? Now, the recipe says we need to melt the butter in a pan, then add the cream once it's nice and bubbly. This part should be easy, right? Tosses a huge chunk of butter into the pan. Wait, how much butter are we supposed to use? Glances at the recipe. I think half a stick? Oops! Well, more butter, more flavor, right? Laughing. Sure, let's go with that. Now the cream. Do we just pour it all in? Yeah, just dump it in. Jane pours in the cream. It splashes everywhere. Oops, I got a bit too enthusiastic with the pouring. I guess we should have been a bit more careful. Probably, but who has time for that? Well, it's starting to look like something. Now for the garlic and parmesan. Sprinkles in the garlic and dumps in a whole bowl of parmesan. How much cheese do you think they use? The recipe says to taste, but I have no idea what that means. Squinting at the recipe. I think we were supposed to grate it first? That's what the recipe meant by freshly grated. Looks at the giant lumps of parmesan floating in the sauce. Oh, well, it's too late now. Maybe it'll melt, eventually. watching the sauce curdle a bit. Is it supposed to look like this? It's looking a bit clumpier than I expected. I don't think so, but it's still edible, right? Of course. Let's just go ahead and add the cooked fettuccine and see how it turns out. Maybe it'll look better once everything's mixed together. Dumps in the cooked fettuccine and stirs the whole mess together. It's not really mixing well. The pasta's kind of clumping up with the sauce. Clumpy? More like a giant cheese ball with some pasta attached. This can't be right. Laughing. This does not look like the picture at all. What did we do wrong? Did we miss a step, or was the recipe just not clear enough? I'm starting to think those online photos are fake. No way they made theirs like this. Mockingly serious. Definitely not. They probably ordered it from a fancy restaurant and pretended they made it at home. Nodding. Or they had a professional chef hiding in their kitchen. Because our fettuccine alfredo looks like, well, let's just say it's not Instagram worthy. Grinning. Maybe we should start a new trend. Reality cooking. Show people what it really looks like when amateurs try to cook. Laughing. Yeah, we can call it the real fettuccine. Alfredo, clumps, chunks, and all. Who needs Instagram-worthy food when you can have a good laugh instead? Takes a bite and makes a face. Well, at least it's cheesy. Takes a bite and starts laughing. Yep, it's definitely something. Next time, we'll just stick to mac and cheese from a box. Okay, that's all for today. Bye for now.